to episode 15. You may have been expecting this episode to be part one of the Predator Bay build, but that's been a little more work than I anticipated. It's a huge project, and if you recall last week we had snow and ice and stuff, so it was slowing me down, but rest assured I am making serious progress on it. It's come a long way, and that will be the next video after this one. And quickly after that will be the big upgrade on the 3,000 gallon. If you recall, in the 3,000 gallon, we've upgraded the plants, the lighting, and the filtration. So big exciting videos to come, but today, right now, episode 15, we're focusing on the 220 Amazon Jungle Aquarium. Okay, the 220 Amazon Jungle Aquarium. This is a Amazonian community aquarium, so we do have peaceful cichlids, like you recall. We have the angelfish and the redhead geophagus, and the super red severum and the electric blue acara, but we also have lots of smaller fish, lots of different tetra, really a whole bunch of different tetra, blue-red Colombians, red serpes, black phantoms, black neons, just you name it, penguins, lots of a mix of Buenos Aires, a bunch of medium to large, medium, and small tetras actually, and of course very much a planted jungle look. As you recall, when we originally rescaped the aquarium, we had way too much hardscape on the bottom, and we didn't have enough pathways front to back for the larger fish like the geophagus to easily move to the different areas of the tank. And honestly, just the overall scape, it wasn't working. I think everyone's probably done this. You have an idea in your head, it makes sense, it works. You put it in the aquarium, it doesn't work. So what do? That's part of the fun, right? You fix it, you rescape it. So we rescaped it back in episode 7, and it takes time for it to grow out. You know, we had a bunch of hand-me-down plants in here before, a bunch of Java fern that were from a 40 breeder setup I had, and you know, really wasn't what I was looking for this aquarium. So we got new plants in, and we got it planted, replanted, and then we had to give it some time to grow in, and it has, and it's really been excellent. Everything is growing in nicely, and it's really combated the algae. We had a lot of algae over that back wall, all over the wood. If you recall, there was algae going everywhere. And between the snails, we have lots of little snails that came in with some of the plants, so those were a freebie, but turns out they actually are the right kind of snails, so they're doing a great job of cleaning this tank, and they populate so fast that I've been adding them to the 3,000 gallon as well. So that's just been a little bit of a bonus, but it has cleared up between the plants beating out the algae and the snails. We've got the tank looking good again. And if you recall, what we achieved was we opened up with the hardscape pathways. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 major pathways. Then you have a clear section in the back, so a larger geophagus like that can go through. And we wanted to, because we have angels and we have a 220 gallon, which is a tall aquarium. It's a 31 inch tall aquarium. We have a school of angels, so we wanted to give them more aquascape that goes all the way up to the surface of the aquarium, so they could really use that height of the aquarium to give them comfort level for having aqua structure near them, so if they feel like they need to retreat, they could. So it keeps them elevated. And kind of a side effect is it's really brought up all those tetra. A lot of those tetra that would be schooling more closer to the bottom of the aquarium, well, they're all up 6 inches from the surface, because there's so much jungle aquascape for them that they feel very secure. And that's what I was hoping would happen. Is I wanted to get them up. I wanted to utilize the height of the aquarium, and I wanted to have those schools of fish swimming at middle to higher levels, and then that frees up the space down low for the bigger fish. They like it down here. The geos, obviously, they're going to be cleaning substrate, and they're going to kind of control that bottom of the tank, and they're going to get fairly big. So it works out really well with the mix of the bigger fish and the smaller schools to spread them out. So always a little tip, if you have a tall tank, you should probably take advantage of that height, right, with your aquascape, so that you create essentially territory or an area of the tank that the fish are comfortable that isn't, lower than substrate, which is more common in most aquariums. So where do we go from here with the 220? The 220 needs some autosynclus. It needs a few special fish. So it needs some autosynclus to get on the leaves. of those plants and get those clean. The snails are doing it, but I'd like to get some autocats as well. There's a couple more, even though we have a lot of cory cats in here and we have the geophagus, there's a few more smaller catfish I was thinking about putting in here, and we do have some pleco in here, but based on the jungle scape of the tank, you hardly ever see them. So I'd like to add a couple more of those designer plecos, the ones that are a little pricey, but they have really nice coloration. They don't get that big, so at least when you do see them, you can be wowed by their beautiful coloration. But at any rate, get some of those fish in here, and the big thing I want to do with the 220 is I want to completely change the sump. So that sump was made by me a long time ago, 2003, for a saltwater aquarium. And I just put it in here when I set it up because it's what I had. But I do not want to keep it. I want to actually build a new sump. Basically take the entire bottom of the stand, line it out with wood, and line it with pond liner, and then create a nice top and frame so it looks more decent, and then actually finish the stand. I never even really completed the beautification of the stand. It's structurally it's excellent, but it's just kind of an open stand there. So I want to get that worked out, and we'll get lighting down there because the new sump is going to be much larger. I'm going to get all of this electronics over here properly mounted up underneath the tank where it should be, and then I'll have the entire footprint of the aquarium 6x2 for the new sump, and that's going to give me the ability to put in a middle section of the sump, which is going to be a plant refugium sort of area. So basically I'm going to keep the tower there, and then the water will come down to that area. So I'll go through the bio tower, and then we'll have a settling area. Then I'll use Matala mat inside of there to create a partition. And then the middle section will be lit, and there'll be growing plants in there. There'll be a deep substrate bed. Two excellent techniques for denitrification. And then this other section over here will be where the equipment, the return pump, the heaters and everything, they'll just be further over here because we'll have a larger middle section for the plants and the deep substrate bed. All right, let's give these guys something to eat, see if they're hungry. All right, we're gonna go one big feeding for these guys today. I've been crazy busy working on Predator Bay all day, so we're gonna just give these guys one big feeding. So we have a mix of, it is extreme krill flakes, sinking shrimp pellets, and tetracolor tropical granules. Let's see if they're interested, and of course they are. These fish are all pigs. It looks like so much when it flows in there. Believe it or not, though, these guys they will clear this out no problem. They're pretty voracious eaters, and like I said, this is their only meal for the day today. So generally, I would feed these guys twice, two much smaller feedings on a weekday, and then on the weekend I will tend to feed them one larger feeding, or maybe even skip a day, just to keep it mixed up. And this is definitely a big feeding for me, but it's no problem. They'll definitely take care of it. This tank has actually been testing out really well. I mean, obviously the proof's in the pudding. You would have more algae all over everything if you had higher nutrient levels, but the plants are doing a great job of out-competing it and really just keeping the nitrates nice and low. And I think once we get that new sump in there, it's just gonna make that situation even better. Don't want to show that 3,000 gallon. So that's just having that extra refugium with the plants and the deep substrate bed down in the new sump that we're going to build for this. That's just going to give me even more ability to sort of quote unquote crowd the tank as far as fish. I'd really be able to keep it pretty densely stocked with smaller fish. So what I have right now, I have the larger fish and the medium tetras, but I'd like to add some of the smaller tetra to this tank. Not too small, but something like maybe more rummy nose, or some larger cardinal tetras possibly, that sort of thing. So to really fill in, we have a lot of dense jungle aquascape going all the way up, so a lot of area for those little guys to maneuver in and out of there. So we want to have a lot of plants to counteract having a lot of fish, and so that's the plan for the 220 moving forward. So I think what I'll do is try putting the camera underwater and see if these guys will continue feeding even with a camera in their face. Hopefully they're not shy. They're usually not. When I'm in the tank working, they are pecking at my arm and they are getting in my way, and they are, you know, certainly not bothered by anything I'm doing. So hopefully they won't be bothered by the camera. Let's give it a try. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out the next video, which is going to be part 1 of the Predator Bay build. And stay tuned for that, and also coming soon, the 3000 revamp. Whoop, that's all I can show you. Sorry, 3000, it's lighting, it's plants, filtration, so I can't really show it off without spoiling it, but it's coming soon. Thanks.